everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Anne and today I am going to be bringing you some spooky books that I want to read within the next month or so. Unfortunately, it's not really fall for me. It's coming into spring, as you can see. Kind of got a bit sunburnt already. So everyone wants to get cozy and drink pumpkin spice tea and do all of that fun, cool stuff, visit pumpkin patches. But look, I cannot do any of that here. It is going into summer. As you can see, I'm sunburned as hell. So I went to the library again to return one book, and guess how many books I came home with? Another like 10. And some of these are ones that I got today. And as I was walking home, I decided, okay, I'm going to do a spooky book list that I want to read within the next month or so. So a lot of these are from the library, some I own myself. So let's just get into it. From my August book haul, you've probably seen this. It's Motherless Child by Glenn Hirschberg. I got this on clearance. It's about, I think it's about vampires. So these women end up with this guy, and the next morning they wake up and they have a thirst for blood, I think, and they end up giving their children to this grandmother, I think. Yeah, so I think it's vampires, so it's short enough read. It's less than 300 pages, so I think that I could get this read really quickly. It should be spooky. Yeah, I never really heard it before. I never seen it on Booktube. I just found it on clearance. It was like $1, so I said I'd pick it up. Seems perfect for this kind of read. The next book that I got from the library today is City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab. So this is about a girl named Cassidy who can see ghosts, and her parents are going to Edinburgh to hunt ghosts in the most haunted city. And yeah, I think this she has a best friend who's a ghost too. She meets another person who's like her, and yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of bumps in the road for Cassidy. Next book, I've owned this for quite a while actually, and it's Talking with Psychopaths Savages. So I have a few other books by Christopher Barry D, and I really enjoyed them. Now this is where he's actually interviewing real psychopaths, serial killers. So this is going to be very creepy. I know the one that I read before this, I think, was Talking with Serial Killers, I found very creepy, because it's actually real murders, real people who committed these murders. So it's definitely something going to be an interesting read. The next book I seen a lot before I joined the book community, and that is 13 by Steve Kavanagh. So this is about a huge crime is committed by this movie star, I think. His wife ends up getting killed, and he's on trial for her murder. But the thing is, the person who actually murdered this man's wife is on the jury. So the serial killer is on the jury, and this is going to be really interesting. It says the serial killer isn't on trial, he's on the jury. So I think we follow the actual serial killer, so I think it's going to be really interesting to see how the serial killer might get away with this, will not get away with this, and how the court scenes kind of come about. The next book you'll probably have seen from my previous library book haul, and that is Sweet Pea by CJ Skews. So this is about an ordinary woman who's going about her daily life, and she ends up creating a kill list for like the guy who mishandles her apples while shopping, this random driver who cuts her off to work while she's driving. So yeah, it's about this woman who ends up having murderous tendencies, and I guess we find out what she does. She's probably gonna go on a murder spree. Who knows? The next book that I want to read, and that was also in my previous library book haul, is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. As I previously mentioned, I tried to listen to this on audiobook and I just could not connect with it. The narrator was not the best, and so I decided that I'd pick it up physically and give it a read. So this is about... I always forget her name. Stevie. When Stevie ends up going to this prestigious Allingham Academy for her passion in true crime, she comes across a crime that happened to the founder of the school. His wife and his daughter end up getting murdered, and Stevie has to try and figure out what happened, how they got murdered, who did it, thing. The next book that I got you haven't seen before, and it is We Need to Talk About Kevin. This is a really, really old book. I got it for $1 in the charity shop today. I've heard about this before. I think there's a movie. I know I've heard about it before a couple of years ago, and I was like, oh, I really need to read that. So it's about yes, it's a really old. I think it was like published in 2003, but it sounds really, really interesting. And it's about Kevin, who murdered 7 of his fellow high school students, a cafeteria worker, and a popular English teacher. So this is about the mother, I think, sending notes to his father, or letters to his father, giving him the backstory as to how he ended up doing that. So I think it's going to be really interesting getting into the mind of a serial killer and kind of seeing how the mother reacts to what he's done. So yeah. The next book I want to read is another book from my previous library book haul, The Dead Girl Society by Michelle Cries. So this is about a girl who is sick of everyone being so overprotective of her. She's got cerebral palsy. I think it's cerebral palsy. No, she has cystic fibrosis, and she's very ill. Her boyfriend, her mom babies her. Her best friend is very overprotective of her, and one day she gets this exclusive letter from this society to join in some fun and games. So she decides to go, and she ends up in a situation that she can't seem to get out of. So that is really, really interesting. It's going to be something that I think I'm really going to enjoy. So the last couple of lines is, all she has to do is complete a few dares, and she just might win some real money. But the society isn't all it seems, and soon Hope finds that playing the game isn't a choice, it's a requirement. So yeah, she gets invited to this big thing. She thinks, great, I'm going to get some money, going to go to college, going to have the freedom that I'm going to get, that I deserve, and she ends up in a situation that sucks. Okay, only a few more to go. The next one is The Hummingbird Dagger by Cindy Antsy. This is also from my library book haul. So this is set in 1833. This young girl ends up in a carriage accident, and she cannot remember a thing about herself. And all she keeps remembering is this dream of a hummingbird with a steel beak covered in blood. So she has to try and figure out what's going on, who caused the accident, and why someone is trying to kill her. So yeah, I'm really, really excited to get into this one. It caught my eye. And I'm really, really excited to read it because it sounds really, really interesting. It's something that I love, historical fiction, like murder mystery historical fiction. So that's going to be a great one. The next one is Murder Trending by Gretchen McNeil. So this is set in the near future where vicious criminals, really bad criminals, get sent to Alcatraz 2.0, and they get killed on live TV or live feed for everyone to watch. And this story follows a young girl, what's her name? We follow Dee, who wakes up, and she is in Alcatraz 2.0 for the murder of her stepsister. But the thing is, she's innocent. So she has to try, and I love the way they describe this. Can Dee and her newly formed posse, the Death Row Breakfast Club, prove she's innocent before she ends up wrongfully murdered for the world to see? Or will the postman's cast of executioners kill them off one by one? Death Row Breakfast Club is I feel like that's just the best description. So she makes these friends, obviously, in the prison who are criminals, and they have to try and make sure she's proven to be innocent and doesn't get murdered in front of everyone in the world. The next book that I have is The Tattoos of Auschwitz. Now, this isn't really a creepy, spooky book, but I feel like it's a really important book that everyone should read. I've owned this for a while now, and it's a true story about the tattoos of Auschwitz. So a Jewish man who ends up in Auschwitz and ends up tattooing all the Jews. So I know this is going to be hard hitting, and I really, really want to read it this soon. So yeah, I love kind of reading historical true stories. So I'm really, really interested to see how they tell this man's story. The next book is going to be my first Stephen King book, and that is Misery. I've seen this all over Booktube recently. It's going to be my first Stephen King book, so I'm really, really intrigued to get into it. So this is about a best-selling author ends up injured, and his world-time most number one fan ends up and taking her to his house, him to her house, to take care of him. The thing is, she's crazy. She's not happy with this author because he killed off one of her favorite characters or something, and she wants him to rewrite the story. And yeah, so she ends up psycho. So yeah, I've heard people say this is really creepy. This lady is psycho, and you never know what to expect, because this book is kind of based in one situation, so it's all character driven. So I'm really, really excited to get into this one. The next book that I got is 6 Minutes by Petrolina McGovern. So this is about a woman's daughter ends up going missing while she leaves her in a mummy and baby club while she runs out to the shop for something. And it's all in the space of 6 minutes. So the mom is on a mission to try and find her daughter, this is a thriller. It's a debut novel, so I'm really excited to get into this one. Time is running out to find the truth. Excited to get into this one. I've seen it in the shop, and I really wanted to read it, but I seen it in my library today. I was like, yes, that's mine. I'm going to get that. So yeah, it's a gorgeous kind of cover, very eye-catching, and I'm really, really excited to see what happens to the daughter, and what secrets get unfolded. And the last book that I got is 5 Midnights by Anne de Villa Cardinal. So I'm not really, the cover caught my eye, obviously, and I read the inside, and I was really excited to get into this because it's a 2019 release, and it is 5 Friends Cursed, 5 Deadly Fates, 5 Nights of Retribution. So when Lupa de Villa arrives in Puerto Rico for the summer, she arrives alone. For the first time, she's travelling without her alcoholic father to stay with her uncle, the local police chief, and his wife. While her uncle is investigating a murder, Lupe scours the crime scene and tracks a lead the cops aren't willing to follow. Javier Utera's friends are dying. 2 of his 4 best friends from childhood end up dead under peculiar circumstances. Now Javier's best chance for survival is uncovering the reason behind the attacks and narrowing down the list of suspects. If Lupa and Javier can survive each other's company, together they can solve the series of grisly murders sweeping through Puerto Rico. But the clues lead them out of the real world and into a realm of myths and legends. And if they want to catch the killer before the killer catches them, they'll have to step into the shadows to see what's lurking there. Murderer or monster? So this sounds really, really interesting. I haven't seen it anywhere, so it's by chance I just picked it up and decided I'd give it a read. So that is all of the spooky, kind of creepy books that I want to read within the next month or so. I know there's a lot, so I probably won't get to them. If not, I'll probably read the next spooky season. Or probably heading into autumn, winter, my time, so it'll be your spring, summer, which is confusing. I know. It's still confusing for me. It's Halloween and I'm getting sunburned. This doesn't happen, okay? So yeah, there's a good few books there that I'd really like to read. And let me know what spooky books you want to read this month and next month for the spooky season. And yeah, let me know what sort of books you've been reading and what are the next books that you want to read. And don't forget to hit the like button, comment if you want, and subscribe for more videos from me. I love you guys. Bye.